Okay, guys, so like we have a new mic, a new setup. So I'm coming to you with myself looking like this because in the next videos that are to come, I actually did not film my intro and I did not film my outro. So we are just gonna start it here. Konnichiwa, everybody, or ni hao. This time I'm coming back with a video of a fan fiction called A Narrow Bridge by FrameOfMind and Joe Lascelles, based off of the drama The Untamed and Chan Kim Ling. I hope you enjoyed my video with my husband reacting in the background. Disclaimer. This video will actually contain some foul language from me and my husband. So we will actually try to censor that. This is also an LGBTQ positive channel. And if you guys don't like that, please go to another channel. There's also, I want to say right now, a Yishin channel and a BJYX channel. So if you don't like that, please go to another channel. No fan wars in my comments, please. I do support the actors individually. And with that, let's be respectful. So, like, 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey. We all know that it came from a fan fiction with Twilight, right?
I don't know that until I met you, but okay.
Oh, well, yeah. That's where it came from, 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay, that makes no sense.
Now you know.
Now you know.
When it comes to fan fiction, do you even know about it? Like, how the
Not
world
really.
around it? No?
Not really.
No? Well, we're about to deep dive on this with a certain drama that we know and love. It's going to be of The Untamed versus A Narrow Bridge, which is a fan fiction, a split from the original work to what would happen if this, and this happened.
Okay.
So what do you think will happen in this?
A Narrow Bridge. That's what it's called?
Yeah. There's a line that Wei Wuxian says as he parts ways with Lan Shan after they had lunch together, and Wen Ning comes back as Ghost General. He basically saying, I don't mind being on this one narrow bridge as long as there's a way to the other side. And then saying, this path is mine and I have no choice but to walk it.
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of think he's going against Lan Chan.
Lan Chan technically in the story, you know, we all know that he's always somebody that follows the rules, while Wei Wuxian, he basically is like
against the rules.
Goes against the rules. He likes to break the rules. You already know that. This story is by two fan fiction writers, FrameOfMind and Joe Lascelles. Fun fact for you, these two, I actually know them from a very long time ago.
Really?
Yes. These two are actually hyphens. They're hyphens.
And what's a hyphen?
Hyphen is a cartoon fan. If you don't know cartoon, they're a J-pop group from the former company Johnny's Entertainment and Associates, and they actually been writing about a ship that died a long time ago, Akame, and they started writing it back in 2013.
Damn.
Yeah, and that's when I started getting into fan fictions too, which is actually very surprising. And FrameOfMind, I've actually read her work. I didn't actually know that they both have been writing Akame fan fiction since then, and they came back to write this. So if you're a hyphen, probably you should get into The Untamed. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Like, a lot of hyphens are getting into The Untamed, which is very interesting. You wouldn't think that those two would be related somehow.
No.
Yeah. And the summary for this fan fiction is, once Lang Wenji made a choice to step aside, 10 years after Wei Ying's death, he finds a way to choose again.
Okay.
Now, you would think, how does he choose
again?
How is he going to choose again, right? Chapter 1, which is called Prologue, Cabin in Snow. Lang Wenji is packing to go on another journey. And if you know the story, Lang Wenji, ever since Wei Wuxian died, thinks that his spirit is still lingering on. So he's been looking at different incidences that cause ghosts or hauntings, and he tries to lull it to sleep, kind of, and see if he could communicate with Wei Wuxian one more time.
Okay.
With having Xishui, aka A1, always next to him.
Okay.
That's basically what he's been doing for the last 16 years until he gets reincarnated back.
Goddamn.
Yeah. So he's been dedicated doing that ever since. So now it's only 10 years, so 6 years before Wei Wuxian comes back, he actually found a new way to be able to try to make things right. And on his way out, he says bye to Xishui, even though he doesn't want him to go bye-bye, because he loves his daddy. He does this thing where he's like, do you have to leave? Please don't leave, kind of face. Aww. But he's like, oh, I'm too old. I'm like a 10-year-old. I can't do that face. So yeah, so he's like have a nice journey and get back home safely.
Aww.
And then he goes to Big Bro's room, aka Seujun, and he basically gives him a journal back of his mother's, and he is like, "Are you sure you want to continue doing this? Like, aren't you basically ending up at a brick wall each and every time?" And he's like, "I don't think so. I think this is worth it." And he's like, "Do you even know what you're doing?" He's like, "I do." "And do you think you're gonna find answers?" "Probably."
Go back to your last statement, saying that you're gonna hit a brick wall. Makes it sound like he's done this before.
Oh, Lanshan's been searching for different ways, the right way of doing things, to be able to contact Wei Wuxian somehow, because he doesn't believe that he's dead.
Okay.
So Zhou like, you keep basically getting up in a brick wall. There's like no solution. He's dead, and that's the final thing. He's dead, and his soul isn't lingering on Earth. It's gone. And he's like, you don't know that.
Like, I don't believe that.
It's like, I don't believe that. You don't know that. So we're gonna keep trying to do this. And he's like, are you sure you're gonna want to keep doing this? Don't you think it's time to give up? No. Fun fact: in the first episode of The Untamed, we actually see Lang Wangji's not in Cloud Recess. He's somewhere close because he sees like the emergency beacon that the disciples cast, right? Right. And he's really close because it's pretty big where he's at. And the thing is that he's always close by because that's what he was doing. Whenever there's a mysterious case, he stays close by to see if it's something to do with Wei Wuxian, because Wei Wuxian likes to cause trouble.
Right.
And coincidentally, it is because of Wei Wuxian as Mo Xuanyu. So
there you go.
So he basically rode for 6 days to this mountain, kind of like Danfan Mountain, where they found like the dancing fairy.
Yeah.
And at the base of the mountain, he gives the innkeeper money to take care of his horse for 3 days. And if he doesn't come back, they can sell off the horse to a nice owner. But he already knows if everything goes well, he's not coming back. But we don't know what that thing is.
Right.
So he decides to travel up a mountain, and at some point it leads to snow, close to the top of the mountain, all the way up to his knees. So he has to basically, for me, I kind of imagine it in a funny way, that he has his beautiful land robes, picks it up like a skirt, and it's like trying to walk through the snow like a dress. That's what I think of it, because I'm just like, I can imagine him doing that, but another side of me makes me think that there's like a big indent, like this big, like going upward, of him just being stubborn, going like straight. Anyways, he gets to the top, sees a cabin. Right when he walks in, he sees a lady. Her name is Li Huashong. She kind of reminds me of Baoshang Sanran, who is the grandmaster of Wei Wuxian's mom. So
wait, is the grandmaster Wei Wuxian's mom or the grandmaster to Wei Wuxian?
No, grandmaster Wei Wuxian, master to mom.
Okay.
Yeah. So she kind of reminds me of her, a rogue cultivator with magical abilities.
Right.
The first thing she's like, "Oh, you're here, so you made it." And then he's like, "Yes." And then she's like, "You're exactly like your mother." And he's like, "What? I'm exactly like my mom. What does that have to do with it?" He gets very sensitive about it if you mention his mom.
Right.
She's like, "Well, seeing that you're here, that means you know the price." And he's like, "I'll give you any amount of money that you want." She's like, "No, the price." He's like, "Oh, yeah, I know the price. And are you willing to sacrifice that? Anything." And she's like, "All right. Just sit in front of the fire, hang tight, and can you see your middle finger?" Sure." And she basically slits a bit of it to get a little drops of his blood into a bowl. And starts making this potion. The smell of the herbs is getting to him. Like, he's like, ugh. Like, I'm just like, thinking it's like
really earthy or something.
Yeah, really earthy, really bitter. She's like, "Okay, we're done." And he's been trying to meditate this whole time, and he's like, "I'm just nervous." She just throws the herbs into the fire.
Okay.
And she tells him, "Get closer and inhale deeply, and keep inhaling deeply. Don't stop." And so he starts smelling it, and the first thing he feels is this burning sensation going from his nose to his throat all the way down to the point that he feels like he's on fire from the inside out.
What?
Yeah, he feels like he's on fire from the inside out. Like, to the point he feels like at some point his insides are just gonna go up in flames. He's like, "I have to do it for Wei Ying. I have to do it for Wei Ying.
Yeah.
And there's no other choices around this at all whatsoever. because he keeps telling to himself in his mind, weighing. And then basically at some point he just blacks out, and then he opens his eyes. He's standing in the middle of a path with an umbrella in his hand and a sword in the other hand. Sees that he's wearing these light blue robes, not the same robes that he was wearing white ones, and he's in his light blue robes, and sees that it's raining, and he's back in the past. He time traveled.
Yeah. Does he remember where he's at?
At the time when he shows up, no.
Oh.
No, but then he looks around and he hears screaming, which leads us into chapter 2, Into the Dark. So that was a doozy. It was a real doozy. Did you guys see that coming? Because I didn't. I did not see that coming, for sure. Going back in time to Chunking Path, I mean, it's a very big deal. A very big deal. To the point that I don't think it was even possible that was going to happen. Now, mind you, I don't know who this Lee person is, and I wish I asked the authors. I did get the authors' permission to do this, so, and I wish with the authors we knew if they were like Baisha Sanran status, or like they're just a rogue cultivator that came out of nowhere. So I hope you guys actually like that, and I hope you guys go check out the work. Go check out the fanfiction in itself. It's like in the description below. I'll leave it there. And if you guys haven't watched The Untamed, you're missing out. So I'll leave that in the description below, and you can also watch it on Netflix. And always remember, being weird is what? Better than being normal. And I will see you guys in the next one. Jane and Saitye.